Alright, this video, found an article, just want to share the article, I think it's relevant to the martial arts. It says high school teams in Washington are forfeiting rather than play school with NFL-sized talent. Opposing teams are refusing to play against Archbishop Murphy High School's football team in Washington State. 18 of them weigh more than 200 pounds. In his first three games, Archbishop Murphy's football team outscored its opponents 170-0. Now opponents of the Everett, Washington private school powerhouse aren't even trying to beat them, literally. With the latest opponent forfeiture, this one come Wednesday by Granite Falls High, the Wildcats will move to 6-0, with their last three victories occurring without even having to play it down. The reason? The Wildcats are just too huge. Archbishop Murphy has 6 players who weigh at least 250 pounds and 3 who weigh at least 300 pounds. Granite Falls held a community meeting in the school's library Tuesday due to the injury concerns raised by parents, despite the school's athletic director wanting to go through with the game. According to Seattle's NBC affiliate King 5, Archbishop Murphy team dominated the Tigers by scores of 66-6 in 2015 and 56-7 in 2014. My son is 5'8" and weighs 117 pounds and just got out of middle school and just turned 14. Stacy McBride, the mother of Granite Falls player, told King 5. They've got 18-year-old players that are 6'5" and weigh 330 pounds. I mean, that's like putting a Volkswagen Bug against a Mack truck. I've said from the very beginning that there's no way I'm going to let my son play these games, McBride added. He said, Mom, I'll get killed. Why would I even put myself in that position? This isn't the first such instance of a juggernaut team forcing teams to question the potential safety of their players. In 2010, St. George's School of Middleton RI canceled a game against Lawrence Academy, Groton, Massachusetts, citing disparity in players' sizes. According to Boston Globe reporters covering the event, Lawrence Academy fielded 3 offensive linemen 300 pounds and upwards. This is strictly a safety issue, St. George's headmaster Eric Peterson told the Globe. We are trying to keep our kids reasonably safe in a game that can be terribly exciting but has risks. So that's basically, there's a little bit more information, but that's basically what the article is stating, and I wanted to share the article because it's really, this article is an example of how size does matter, you know especially in things like football, basketball, wrestling, boxing, fighting, you know and martial arts. I mean, you know if you have somebody that's 350 pounds and he's tackling somebody that weighs 115 pounds, he can literally kill the person. And when you're talking about fighting somebody, and it's not even football, a big person, all they got to do is just tackle the little person, and then the little person could die. Just basically grounding and pounding the little person. It's like a lion up against a hyena or something. As soon as he gets hold of the hyena is done. So size really does matter, in certain situations, and just this is just the reality of what it is, you know, and combat sports, every single one from football, not the football, but from boxing to wrestling to cage fighting, they're all matching people up by weight class. But the reality of real life is that there are no such thing as weight classes. And if you weigh 115 pounds and somebody that weighs 350 pounds wants to come beat you up or kill you, the situation, what do you do? How do you handle the situation? You might have to pull out a weapon. You might have to shoot and kill the person. Or the 350-pound male wants to rape and kill a 100 10-pound female or a 100-pound female, what is she supposed to do? This is the type of survival training that I focus on, and it's just anything goes. You just have to do whatever you have to do to survive, and you might have to pull out a gun, you might have to pull out a knife, you might have to pull out a weapon. You just have to do whatever you have to do to survive. You know, there's never a fair fight out there on the streets, and that's the difference of what martial artists train in opposed to combat sport. And this is just an example of how size really does matter. And you could get really hurt out there. And you just have to reach your potential, do the best that you can for your size, and utilize your strengths, for your advantage during a certain situation where you might be being attacked by a very large person. But definitely, you cannot let these large people get a hold of you. That's why I'm not an advocate of ground fighting, especially being a small person. It's like if somebody weighs 350 pounds and you weigh 110 pounds, what you think you're gonna out wrestle that person on the ground? You're gonna ground fight the person. As soon as they pick you up, they just drop you on your head and then you die immediately. This is some serious stuff. So you're a small person, you gotta stay on your feet, and you might have to run away from the person or do whatever you have to do, pull out a weapon and kill the person. I mean, this whole thing about ground fighting is just, it's not intelligent, for real street combat. You know what I mean? Like, in the way that these people are fighting in the cage, they're fighting like it's football, just tackle each other down in the ground and pound and beat each other to death. You know what I'm saying? And the small person, they have to utilize very you know deadly techniques in order to survive that situation. And this is just the difference, between sport and combat sport and just real life survival. So, thought that article was a good thing to share.